Okay. So I'm going to go over one more time. We have created the index.html file. We've created the images folder that contains our ship image, all in the root of the folder. I explained that the root of the folder is where we created, when we created the one loop website folder, right? Where we can, when we open it the first time, where we see all our files in our folders, that's the root. So we want to keep it over there, where our images, where our index.html is. We'll create the CSS file at the same place. So when I go back to my VS Code, I'll just click outside to ensure that I'm in the root folder, go back to the first icon, which says new file, and then create my style.css file. Good. And because I don't want to forget, the first thing I'll do is to link my CSS file to my HTML document. And to link, we use the link tag. And then we use the rel prop attribute, this relationship. I will type style sheet, and then we'll show the CSS file location, which is href. Yes?
Your screen is not showing, it's lagging.
What you are doing is not displaying.
Can you see now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'll just go back. Good. So I had just created my CSS file inside the root of my folder of the one loop website. And now I'm going to link the two of them, my HTML and my CSS together, so I don't forget. So to link, I'm going to use the link tag, and I'm going to call the relationship attribute. And the relationship between the CSS file and the index.html file is a style sheet. And then from there, I'll use the href attribute to pinpoint the location of the style.css. And like I said from the last time, because it's in the same root folder as my index.html, I'll just do the full stop / meaning that my CSS file is in the same path or the same area as my index.html file. And once I do full stop and a / VS Code automatically pinpoints all the files or folders that are within the same location. And I'll just select my styles.css to link it. This way, I have linked my CSS file to my HTML file. And then now we can get into the coding. So back.
Please, can we all do that before we continue?
All right, no problem. Let me give you.
I mean, some of us are not able to.
All right.
Are not able to download the picture.
All right. All right, that's fine.
Please, you don't have to download a particular picture. If you have any picture on your laptop, you can use it just so you can follow up. If your internet is slow and you're not able to download, just drag in any picture on your laptop for now, and then at a later time.
Okay.
Okay. I'll give you just 2 minutes, 2-3 minutes to catch up.
Mr. Bernard.
Yes.
So whilst you are giving us time to catch up, just a quick one. You see where you went, where you could tell the laptop size or the screen size of any machine you are using.
Yes.
You could tell. Yes. Can you do that? Just if you see something.
All right. Yes. So inside my browser, right?
Okay.
Right. I'll just right click and I'll select inspect. Can you see inspect?
Yes, I can see.
No, on your laptop, not on my laptop, on your laptop.
Yes.
Good. Click on inspect. it will open the developer tools. Because I'm using Chrome, it's the Chrome developer tools.
Okay.
And don't be worried about what you see in there. Let's focus on this part, right? The part that looks like a ruler at the very top.
Okay.
Good. Now, but it will show me, hold on. Let me just, so it shows me all the screen sizes, how my design will look on all the screen sizes, right? But then I said our main focus is for large laptops because that's what the design looks like. It's for a laptop, right?
Okay. So on that bit, I'm using Firefox. Okay. When I go to the inspect, it has three main divisions. So the first division, which is showing my the HTML code that they've done. The second division showing the filter style, and the third division showing a kind of layouts, computer changes, and compatibility.
Okay.
I don't see that the rule where it kind of do the division. Right. That is why I was a bit.
You said you use Firefox.
Yes, I'm using Firefox.
I don't use Firefox. I'm sorry, but it's fine. I'm sorry.
Okay, I'll try it. I'll try Google Chrome and probably get the whole idea on it and just search. Okay, thank you, please.
You're welcome. Okay. Most of us on the same page. Most of us on the same page. So I can... All right.
We're trying to. Okay, so
All right. You know what? This, as always, the
so
session is
let
being
me
recorded.
link. So
Also, you can also
the
reach out
link
to me.
is it in the head? Please, the link is it in
Yes.
the head tag or is in the body?
Can you
It's
see my
part of the
screen?
head.
Yes, it's part of the head.
Okay. The screen is not there. Okay. Good.
All right. Can you see my screen now?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
So link tag.
All right. I'm gonna confirm. So, like I earlier mentioned, right? Ideally, for any website, ideally for any website, right? There are sections or structure of how it's supposed to be. And for this website, like I mentioned, is that there's a nav bar, there is this section that has a text, and then there's another section that has the services. The section that has the text is typically called the hero section, right? And we have our services section as well. So we have the nav bar, the hero section, and then our services section. So back to my code. I'm going to create the structures for the three main sections. So for any HTML,
Your screen is not. I can't see your screen. Okay, I can see it.
Please, my H.
okay.
Hello.
Yes, I'm listening.
It's my href is not it's not popping up my style sheet.
Your href.
And the period /.
If it's not popping, just type it out. So did you create the styles of CSS?
Style dot.
Remember,
Yes.
it
Oh,
must be the
okay. I
same.
did it styles. Like, style.css, yeah. But when this thing, it has a hashtag,
What has a hashtag?
before it. I don't know. The style sheet.
This?
My style sheets for is it file? Yeah.
Your styles
My
of
style
CSS has a
sheet
hashtag.
file. Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
I don't know if that's the reason.
That's all right. Mine also has a hashtag
Hashtag.
to it in the folder. It's all right.
Okay.
But it's not when I'm calling it, it's not coming.
Yeah.
Just type it out.
Joseph,
Type-
you have to call it by the name you saved it to. The fact that Bernard has named his styles.css does not mean that if you didn't name your own styles.css, it won't come. So what are you calling your file?
It's style.css.
At the same
Okay.
level like this one? Is it at the same level?
And also maybe the same spelling, maybe like a letter can be missing out of it or something.
Yeah. You have to get a spelling exactly as you have put in.
Styles. Okay. Okay. All right, we can continue.
All right, sure, no problem. Thank you. All right. So I created 3 tags, right, just to demonstrate the proper structure of an HTML document, right? So I created the header, the main, and then the footer. Ideally, your header will contain your nav element, so those elements that are at the top level. So your nav element, your navigation bar. The main will contain the content, the actual content of your web application. And the footer, like the name suggests, will contain the footer section of it. So I'm going to create based on our design, I'm going to create a navigation bar inside the header by calling the nav element. And inside,
Please, can we? Okay. All right.
okay,
We want to get the this one first.
which one first?
Like the way you did it, the header, main, and footer.
Okay.
Or you give us time to do it.
Yeah, so I will just call it my nav.
Maybe. Okay. So yeah. So maybe you can continue. Then you give us some time to do it later before we continue.
Okay. But have you you can create the nav while we are waiting, create the header, main, and the footer. And inside the header, you create the nav element to hold the navigation bar inside the design.
Yeah.
Are most of us on the same page?
Yeah.
Okay. Great. All right. Now, inside my navigation, right, I typically have this one loop text over here, and then I'll call them navigation items or the navigation links, right? So, but typically, so I can decide to put all these inside here, So I can create a P tag that will hold the one loop like this. And I'll create the elements that will hold the navigation items. However, if you observe with me rightly, the one loop is on its own, and the navigation items are grouped together on their own, right? So in order to achieve this kind of structure, inside the nav, wait, when I'm switching my screens, do you see?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
It's fine.
Okay. So inside my nav, the P will hold the one loop, which is on its own. And then I'll create a separate container that will hold these navigation items because they are grouped together and they're on their own. So with that same visual, I'll translate that into my HTML because structure also matters. So I'll create a container. And I remember the last time I mentioned that to create a container, we use the div element. Right. And inside my div element, I'll create a UL, which is unordered list. And then I'll create a list item that will hold. Remember, these are navigation items and they are links. Typically, navigation items who are links to either different pages or different sections on the screen, like the assignment we did last time. So inside my li tag or list tag, I'll create an anchor tag with an href that will point to where the link should go to. For now, I'll leave it blank. And I'll call the name of the link, which is services, the first one. Do we have this?
Hello?
Yes.
The services, I thought it's supposed to be in between there. Or that's where the link will come. The href.
Yes,
In
that's
between
where
the exclamation. Okay, okay.
all right. So I'm just going to copy and paste for all the other links. So we have locate 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 other links. So I'm just going to do a copy and paste. And change this to location. Change this to technology. Change this office. And then statistics. And finally contact. Okay. Are we all here for now? Most of us up to this point for now.
We are on it.
Okay.
H.
Yes.
Bernard,
Yeah.
please, why do you introduce the hash before the hashtag?
Inside the href.
Yeah.
Oh, don't worry about that. So because
Okay.
we're just building out the design, we'll look at how we can
Okay.
use this later. So don't
All
worry.
right.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to continue. Great. So I think at this point we can look at how it looks like in the browser.
Technology.
Right. I think I already had it opened. Yes. Can everyone see this in the browser?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So at least we have the basic HTML. Now we can apply some styling. Any question? I think there's a question. There was a hand up, or okay.
Please, what's the last um, the last item on the card?
Okay. All right. So basically, like I said, in our browser, we should have the basic look of it. So the one loop and then the other items in a list style this way. But then we want to achieve the designing the image, right? Having the one loop and then the nav items or navigation items on the side. So to do that, I'm going to go to my HTML, right? And first of all, I'm just going to style the list items. From the design, we can see that firstly, there's no underline, what do you call it, style on it, and then there are no bullet points. So I'm going to eliminate the bullet points and then the underline. We're going to do that together. So go to your styles.css, and from our last session, remember the first thing we said was from the box model, we want to control all the margins and the paddings, right? Inside our HTML, we don't want to be surprised. So the first thing we want to do is resize everything. So we'll set, first of all, you call the star element. The star element means that select every element in my HTML document because you're going to reset every margin and padding and box sizing for every element inside the HTML. So the star means that select every element in my HTML, and then I'm inside it. I'm going to set my margin to 0, set my padding to 0, and then set my box sizing to border box, because by default, HTML uses content box. Great. And then from there, we can now style the list element, the nav list element, navigation links element. So first of all, I mentioned that we don't need the underline. And we know that from previous sessions, the element that applies an underline feature to an element is the anchor tag, because typically it's a link. And by default, links in HTML have underline styles on them. So to remove that, I'll call the anchor tag or the anchor element. And once I call it, I open my curly braces, and then the property that handles the underline is text decoration. So I'll select text decoration, or sorry, I'll type out text decoration. And then once I type out text decoration, I don't want any underline. So I'll type out none. It will take away any design, any underline style on the anchor tag. Now, if you go to our browser, you should see that once we reset our paddings and margins, there are no paddings and no margins. So everything is sticking to the very edge of the web page. And secondly, the list, sorry. Okay. Let me just do this body. So we haven't taken out the bullet points, right? But because we took out our margins and paddings, the bullet points are overflowing. So to be extra sure that they are taken out, I'll apply a padding to my body, just to be extra sure that they are taken out. So you can see they are still there. And once I take them out, I can take away the padding on the body, off the body. Now we know that, like I said, the anchor tag controls the underline on the links. Now the item that controls the bullet points is the li tag or the list tag. So I'm going to call the li tag, and then inside it, the property that controls the bullet point is called the list style. And inside the list style, because I don't want the bullet points, I'm also going to have the value of none on it. And that way it takes away the bullet points. Now that I'm extra sure that the bullet point is gone, I can then go back to my CSS and take away the pattern on the body. So I'm just going to comment out, remove the body styling. And you can go back to the basic reset or the base reset. So I'll leave it here on the screen for us to follow along. And then if there are any questions, please, I'll be open to answer them.
This is where the body. I can't see the body tag.
All right. So I brought back the body because I wanted to be extra sure that the list style was still there, because once you apply so this is initially how it was. Once you apply the base reset, that's controlling all the paddings and the margins, right? Typically the bullet point, it's outside this the box of this element. It's not part of it, it's outside it, right? So it overflows and we cannot see it. So I wanted to be extra sure that it was still there. And to do that, I applied a padding to my body. Remember from our previous lesson, we said that padding inserts spacing inside an element. And because everything else we are working with sits inside our body, if we apply a pattern inside our body, it will create spacing inside our body. That way I can be able to see if the bullet points are still there. And once I did that, I was able to confirm that the bullet points were still there. Now, then that way I can go back to my CSS, call the element that controls the bullet point, which is the list, the li tag or the list tag. And then the property that helps me control the bullet point is called a list style, and set its value to none, meaning I don't want the bullet points. Now, once I confirm that it's gone, I can then go back and comment out the body or take it out, because I've been able to affirm that the list, first of all, the list of bullet points were there, and I've been able to remove them. Is that okay? So there's no need for me to keep my body padding in there at this point in time.
Okay. So do we also need to do that, or we can go straight to?
Yeah, so just follow along up to this point. Once you have up to here, just let me know. Then we can take away the padding on the body or remove the body styling.
Hello.
Yes, Hope.
Yes, please. Can you go to the index.html file for me, please? I want to confirm something.
Okay.
They say, please, I've done this, but when I checked in the browser, the nav element didn't appear. It's not highlighted as in how yours appeared. I don't know what the problem is.
It's not highlighted as in.
It's not in this color. Mine is just white.
It's just white.
Yes. How the nav elements are, let's say, are hash, no, should I say are colored? No?
Oh, this
Mine is not like that. Yes, please.
yours is what? What color?
Please let me check. Mine is just the black color.
Right, no problem. When you hover over them, right,
Yes.
does the pointer change to like a hand pointer?
No, please. No, please.
Okay. Did you create? Remember the anchor tag takes an href. Did you bring the href?
Yes, I brought everything.
Everything like this.
Yes, please.
No problem. You just let's continue coding along. We can speak after the call.
All right,
Right.
sir.
No problem. Okay. Okay, great. So
please, what's the A tag in the role of the A tag?
okay, good. So in your VS Code, right, when you hover over it,
In
it says
in the CSS.
in the CSS
Yeah, this one. A.
one.
Yeah.
So I mentioned that I'm going to comment it out, right? Or I'm going to take it out. When you, by default, anchor elements or anchor tags have an underline on them. Can you see that?
Mhm.
Good. Now, per our design, the links over here do not have any underline on them. Can you see that?
Yeah.
I want to achieve this design. So to do that, and typically most navigation items do not have the underline feature, but they are being powered by the anchor tag. And to do that, we need to manipulate that by calling the anchor tag. And then, because that's what applies the underline style. And there's a property for the anchor tag that controls the underline style. It's called text decoration. Now, when you type out text decoration and you apply the value of none, it takes away the underline or any style on the text decoration. Do you get it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Hello.
Yes.
Just a quick one. The box sizing. What is this thing finding again? Um,
Okay. So it typically controls the width and height of every content because I think from the last assignment I explained that every element in our HTML, right, is considered a box, whether a rectangle or a square, right? And there's a crucial play on how we calculate the height of an element, right?
Okay.
Good. So by default, HTML uses content box, meaning that it wants to calculate the height of the element using the box model like I explained. So you see the way I've highlighted the one loop, it created a rectangle around it,
Okay.
right? So content box will calculate the height of this element minus any padding or margin we apply in it, any spacing inside it. So if let's say the height of this was, let's say, 40 pixels, and we applied a padding inside this element of 10 pixels, right? The height of this would be 40 pixels plus the 10 padding on top and the 10 padding below, making it 60 pixels. That's if you are going the content box route.
Okay.
But because we want total control, right? That's because we are resetting our margins and our paddings and our box style to border box. it will then now, if we applied any padding or margin inside here, the height of this element would be including the padding and the margin. So now it will no longer be 60, but then now it will actually be 40, exactly the 40, because it will take 20, it will include the padding and the margin, and then so it will take the 10 padding on top, 10 padding below, right? And then equate it to the actual height of the 40 pixels of the element. So instead of 60, it will now ensure that it is exactly 40 pixels as initially stated.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Please, can you go back to the CSS?
Okay.
Basic creations. Okay.
All right, guys. So yes, we have 3 more minutes before the class ends. But I'm going to I'm going to go back to my CSS, right? Take away the body elements so that we don't have the padding again. And then now, first of all, the underlying style is gone and the bullet points are gone because we've confirmed it. Now the next step will be to align them side by side, not vertically but horizontally, such that the one loop is on its own on the left-hand side, and then the links are also on their own on the right-hand side. However, for the sake of time, I'll end here. And I'm thinking I'll discuss with Bright and see if we can have some of a follow-up session. But I'll discuss with Bright and then I'll get back to you guys so we can move faster
Let's
and get
continue.
it clarified.
So we can now take off the body, right?
Exactly. Yeah. You can take away the body, it's the body styling itself altogether. Please, if there are any questions, if you need to book me one-on-one, just let me know. If I'm available during that time, I'll just put you up and then we can have a one-on-one. Last week I met with a couple of you guys. Just take good use of the opportunity, right? Just reach out to me and then we can clarify some things so you can get a better understanding of where we are heading.
Okay, sir.
All right. Okay. All right. I'll end here, and then we'll have the recording available to you guys in Classroom as well.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, you're welcome.
Hello.
Thank you, boss.
Yes, Hope.
We are looking for
Yes,
we
please,
are
can I
looking
hear?
for a situation where people are sharing their designs with us, what they are doing, and the progress they are making. We see we want those things shared on the page to encourage somebody. This thing takes practice, you know. You cannot understand the whole thing just by listening to an hour and a half session and you get it all. You need to go and practice. Just play around and let's see the designs you are coming out with. There's a lot of websites out there. Try and look at them and see if you can do those things, or you can build things that look like them. And then we'll be open to share with us on the page. And probably we'll give you a session to talk us through how your thinking process has been, what you did in order to achieve that, and share that with the class moving forward. Yeah. We need to wrap up the HTML and CSS before we jump into JavaScript. So take some time off and practice more. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
All right, thank you, Brad. Thank you so much.
Hey, but my
Hello.
You know, Joseph,
my
please,
underline is still there.
don't worry. See
Hello.
me, book a session with me after, all right?
Say what about
Okay,
me
all
too?
right.
Yes, just,
No. That's
you know,
it.
I'll introduce myself again in the group that we are all in, and then you can just hit me up, all right?
All right.
Please, are we going to have the recordings tonight?
Yes, once they're available, I'll release them. It takes some time, but once they're available, I'll release them.
All right. Thank you.
Godwin, yes, I hear you, but I have other engagements as well, so we cannot continue the class for today. Thank you. All right, goodbye.
Bye bye.
Bye. Good night.